Hello and welcome back. Today it's the apartment tour. If you're new to my channel, I'm Deirdre and I've been promising an apartment tour for a while, and I decided that the end of the challenge, which I sort of relabeled the Handy Woman series because it seemed to be what I was doing. It's still in the 28 days challenge that Sophia was running over at My Great Challenge, and her link is in the description below. But I decided it was a good way to just roll it all together at the end and show you my apartment, since that's what I've been working on. And since I have already filmed my apartment tour for you today, I will take you straight to it now. Welcome to my home. For many of you, you've already had this trip a few times, but for some, I have so many new subscribers that I thought it would be a good time to have a home tour. As you can see, we come into a really good sized entranceway. It's a great thing to have an entrance. I mean, look at the size of it. That's the rug. It's a really big area, and it just sort of welcomes in. And I have in here a mirror, because you need a mirror when you are leaving. Hat to grab. This is my, as I'm going outside, I just grab a hat. I've got a couple of them sitting there. I have another one up there. I have a couple more in the bedroom. And this is my shoe case. And yes, I know some people have bookcases, but hey, why would you when you can put shoes on them? So I have a shoe case here. And then on the back of the door, just to liven it up a little, I have a mirror. And I'm not sure where this came from. I know when I bought it, but this is glass and it's been painted on the reverse side. And they were everywhere for a while, but I still think they're lovely. And then beside that, I have just a little postcard I popped in a frame. And lamb is carved in Florence. It's hand carved and it would have been part of a nativity set. But crikey, the price of them, it's a wonder anybody could afford a whole set. And then up here, I have this gorgeous little print that looks really high, but it's not. But it's a big print that my son and daughter-in-law built back for me from a trip to Peru. And then that leads into the kitchen, but I think we'll go there in a moment because let's finish in the entranceway first. So I have a cupboard, which is amazing because I'm not going to open the bottom because it's full. But I have books in it, and I change it round a bit, and I store lots of my house books in there. They're great. And then here I just have a gallery wall, really, I suppose it's turned into. I've got my table and baskets, just because I like baskets, and this is one full of wraps, which I have not been needing for quite a while. And my clock I made, it says Festina Lente, which means to hurry slowly. In other words, don't rush it. And here's a print from a photo I took in St. Paul de Vence in the south of France, and I think I'll redo it with a white border. I think the dark is too dark. It's a Fallon sculpture, that's gorgeous. And then over here I have one of my favourite prints. I did buy this one. It says Love Warrior. I just thought that was really cool. Lots of reflection, unfortunately. And then this one is a photograph I took at the mouth of the Rhone in the south of France. So this is the Mediterranean, and it's just that beautiful little child running along the beach. She's just such a beautiful little creature. I just snapped a photo of her, probably against all the rules now. And we'll do the boring things, shall we? Well, you're not going to do laundry and loo, we don't need to do that. Bathroom, pretty much as you've seen it, but I have a new print in here. And it's just nice and light, but reflective, of course, because I'll show you on the side. There you go. I think that she's amazing. It's the daughter of the photographer, just walking out into the cold Nordic water. She's a brave girl. But apart from that, that's the only new thing in here. Everything else, I just have my makeup out on the counter. That's mainly what I use. I keep my just little hand towels just rolled here, and these are just little face towels that I use, every day. I probably use a couple of them, in the mornings. And then here, just leaning against the shower, I have just a wooden. It's like a ladder, but it's only decorative. and I just put some of the Turkish towels on there and my bath mat, so it just looks a little bit cheerful, but it's a great bathroom. I've got all of that storage over the basin. I've got all of that storage underneath in the vanity, and then here I have even more storage, and I keep meaning to get some new plants to go up there and up here. But that's the star of the moment. I'm really happy with that print. I really wanted that one. I'm very happy with the reflections and all. Come back down towards the living room, and we've got my study, home office, whatever you'd like to call it. This used to be the worst room in the house, and now it's just fine because I tidied it up and I figured out somewhere to put everything, and some of it means it has to go in the corner here, but that's where I've got my little folding workbench because it just doesn't fit anywhere else, and my yoga mat and my roller for when I need to roll my legs or something, and then the computer and a picture I was given by some friends. I think she's lovely, and then I think this works quite well now with a basket just to balance her over the computer. I've got my stand for my iPad, I've got my mic if I want to do some voiceovers, my diary, that's my little MacBook that I do all my editing on. I very rarely use my big one for that, which is crazy really. Then here I've got two new cushions. Of course they're from Ikea. They're so soft. This is a velour and this is like a velvet, and it's just so nice. They're both in the grey that I really like. I've got my chair here that was one of a pair, but I like having it here. It's good. Anyone can pull it up and sit and chat and look at photos. My plants on the little Ikea plant stand that I built for you in a previous video, and I'll link it above. And then my bookshelf, which is just storage central for me. We went through the drawers and the doors, and now that I know where everything goes. And this one is the printer station, so I've got paper and things like that. It works so well. Here are my parents and grandparents and on from both sides. And then my printer is here, makes it super easy. And this is something I did when I wasn't feeling particularly great and really couldn't film, but I wrapped the top in a piece of leather that I had just to see if it would work, and it does, so I'm really pleased with that, and just looks clean, tidy and efficient now, and that's on casters, so I can pull it out anytime if I need to get to the PowerPoint or anything like that. So I'm really happy with my study. It's lovely. I've got the blind half pulled down because the light's so strong. It's a very warm day again today, even though tomorrow is the first day of autumn, and it's sort of, that's great. So I like this room. I think it's really good. I've just got my storage unit here, which works very well also. And another thing I did was to pop just a little picture that I had sitting around not being used up here on the side of the cabinet, and so this way I just see it when I walk out of my bedroom and every time I walk into my study. And here's my bedroom. Now, I think this is probably, it's hard to know, almost my favourite room. I have a couple of my bags. This is a movable feast, and I have a very precious piece of art from a dear friend. That's there, and you've got a little bit of red and the little hint of mustardy yellow, which is great. So I'm always happy to keep my red bag there. And then I have put these mustardy yellow cushions on my bed, extra pillows, and the curtains just nice and soft and blow. There is a blind, of course, to knock out the worst of the heat, which I need, but just today I've left it just like that. I'll pull it down when I've shown you. And then over here I have a couple of another couple of pictures that I've had up, another couple of hats, of course, and some more of that beautiful yellow. Now that was given to me by my daughter-in-law. She found those, my son and daughter-in-law, and they're just beautiful. I think they're lovely, they're little cups, but of course I use them as decoration in here because they're just the perfect colour. So how did she know? And a nice healthy little plant here. It's like a moss, and more hats. The prints are, that's just a photograph of Port Phillip Bay, and it is the same as the ones in my study. And up here above my bed, I haven't turned my lamps on, but you get the idea. So this is such a calm and lovely space to be in. Lots of storage, that will be for another day. We'll go through what I need. And this is a painting by a local artist. I just love it. It's the two dragonflies going off into the golden sun, and it's beautiful with a gum leaf, the way we do get gum leaves here, and it's quite lovely. I bought it after my parents had both passed away, just on a year of each other, and it just makes me think of them for some reason. I don't know why, but as soon as I saw it I thought of them, and you don't say no to that sort of instant sort of like a connection to something. You go, okay, and I go with it. So it reminds me of Mum and Dad. Who knows why? Don't know. Coming back out of my bedroom. So I have another couple of little pictures just on the wall here that are really nice. And I think we'll go via the kitchen, because the kitchen is potentially fairly boring. A kitchen is a kitchen. I have my cookbook sitting in the corner here, not doing any harm. It's a functional kitchen. It's missing a bit of counter space, but to be honest, it's fine. And if I wanted to, I could make a board to go over the top of the range if I needed a little bit of extra counter space. But really, I don't. And to be honest, when I do need it, I'm cooking anyway, so that doesn't really matter, does it? Eggs in the corner with a couple of chopping boards, but you might have seen my video on restoring this chopping board and its mate over there, and giving them a sand. I sanded them back. These are over 10 years old from Ikea, and they have just come up really well. They're soft and silky with some of my little buttery wax that I put on them, and they've both been great. Of course, I need a coffee machine because that's what I live on. Love my coffee, and I use this giant cast iron pot all the time, especially coming now into the winter, or autumn and winter. I'll be making soup all the time. This is just a beautiful little Japanese etching. This is my water bottle because, you know, I love my water. And then on the other side, I don't have to have my router there, but I could potentially put it somewhere else. But in order to do that, I have to then go down another path, and hopefully by then we'll get the NBN. So this isn't a great big area, but it's actually really useful. And since I changed the plug on the microwave, it now tucks back a little bit better. And I have my KitchenAid and my pantry, which you have seen lots of before, and more cupboards up there. So I have lots of cupboards. The only thing I'm a bit short on is counter space. And it looks out into the sort of light well where everybody comes and goes. All the stairs are for the 8 apartments that are at this end of the block. There are 8 here and 8 down the front. So I'm right at the back, so it's very quiet. But you see your neighbours, call out, say hello. It's gorgeous. It's like living in, I don't know, like an Italian apartment. And that's a print. Where did I get that one from? Design, I think. Anyway, I love it. It just sort of is so much every university that I was at. It's just gorgeous. So that's how that works. I always have a light on in here. I'm not great with overhead lights. I try to use lamps when I can. And coming around and into the dining area, which I use all the time. I sit at the table and work. We have family meals here, and it's just gorgeous. And there are the ponies, and there is another, I was going to show you this is the little frame that I made for it, and that's in another video, so I could link that as well. It's just something I made, and I did paint this. I think, were you along for the painting of the grey buffet? I think you were. And that wall used to be completely brown, which I painted out very quickly. This is the original parquetry floor that was put down in these apartments in 1960, which is astonishing, the quality of it. It's in beautiful condition. And then, so I come round here, and I've got a shelving unit that sort of extends the wall quite well so that the sofa fits on the other side. And I have my gluggle jug, which just gives me a giggle every time I use it, because it goes glug, 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 and my beautiful niece bought me that. And then up here, another mirror, of course, because I love mirrors, and I had the outer part of the mirror was a grey, very nice, sort of French grey mirror, metal, that I had, and then I was in, where was I? I was in France, and I bought this at a little market in Ilse-les-Sauges, which is in, where is it? It's in the south of France, and near Avignon. And I didn't know what to do with it, and then I thought, I know, I'll paint the grey mirror black and then just silicone this one into place, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's just that was a really good thing to do. And a couple of the little cloche, the glass cloche that I like. My new little fiddle leaf tree. It's meant to be a dwarf, but it will grow a little bit from that. And they sit on a marble slab that was once a table, and I bought for nothing on eBay and just took the leaves off it. So that was a bit of fun. Took a multi-tool to get them off, but now they came off. This is fabric I bought in Ilse-les-Sauges also, and I love. It's a pierre frais, but I don't know if they ever printed it, but it's all down the sides of it. I did see it once in an Architectural Digest, so it has been used. And these are just a lot of tassels. Remember when we all had tassels on all our cupboards and things? Well, I had all these beautiful ones, and I couldn't bear to not have them on display, so I just put them into a glass cloche, and that way I can enjoy them. And they're sitting on another little piece of marble. This one also was a table from the same lady, and I think I got that one for nothing. If I bought the other one, she said, I'll take them both, nobody wants them. Well, I did. And then recently I have put up these gauzy curtains. Now, it's actually a little bit of an experiment. I love the open windows, but I also like that cool look of gauze in summer, and in winter it will make it a little bit more cozy. These ones will actually go into the TV room and the study, and I'll get more because I've only got 2 panels on each window, and I need 4 panels on each window. They're just 2. They're not sort of full enough. I like them to be a lot more full. And then of course anybody who's watched my channel knows my ponies, and they were also taken. I took that photograph in the south of France also, and they are Camargue ponies, hence they are white, and they are just lovely little friends that used to come and say good morning to me when I was staying nearby. Then you walk into what is effectively sort of the living area, and I've tried to really work this space to make the most of a fairly awkward space really, but it works very well now. I put a bookcase to extend this wall. As you can see, it was a very large gap across, but I just left a perfectly comfortable sort of passage width. I've put a couple of, they're actually Ikea kitchen cabinets, but I use them as just a little storage area here. And I will, in fact, now that I can use up the other piece of leather that I have, and I will put it on the top. These are some little pears that I got along the way, just on a piece of terrazzo. And of course plants. And my, I think of it as a fish trap lamp, but somebody called it a beehive lamp the other day, and I thought that's pretty true also. And then a Copenhagen sofa from Freedom, and some books. And then I used a cowhide that I had, and I really couldn't bear the sight of it as a dead animal on my floor, but I already had it, and I thought, well, I'm not going to waste it, so I have recovered the ottoman with it. And I'm really happy with that, and it becomes an excellent coffee table. And then I just use these trays. People are here, they can just pop things on those trays. I have the lights pouring in from the side now. This is a very comfortable leather sofa I've had for a long time, and I've even given it some love recently, which was a good thing. Cleaned it and then used my beeswax butter to give it a good condition, and it worked well. Here's a little phrenology head that I've had for a long time. He just sits in a glass cloche, and my little thinking men, I rather like them. I think they're great. So they sit there and think. A candle and a lantern. Of course, plants. Always have my plant in the corner there, and that leads out onto my balcony, which did not look like that when I arrived. It was a sad space, but it's growing really well. I won't go out there, but as you can see that it's got, it's good space, easily comfortable for 2 or 3 people to sit out there. I have lights going at night, and the solar lights, so they're just always on, and all of the plants that I've put in have thrived and done well. Then coming around, here's the Black Knight, and here is a little ottoman that my son found for a girlfriend and myself. We both got them. I think she gave that one to me. She has one the same, and we love them. They're just rugs made into puffs, rather, not puffs, not ottoman, because they don't have legs. They just sit on the floor, and I have to fluff them up. So this is where you walk round and into the entranceway again. But here is probably my most used little room. This is my TV room, and it has a day bed in it that converts to being a guest bed. It can be a double guest bed, very comfortable one at that, and that gets used every now and again. And it has another little ottoman in there that I put my feet on because it's quite high. I just covered that with some linen that I had. There is, of course, a plant, and this is an interesting piece of art. This is from New Zealand, and it is actually a print of a kawai, a fish. The fish was used as to give the basis for the print, and then it was coloured over the top with inks, which I think is rather nice. And that subtle pink in it is the reason I thought that I can get away with putting some pink cushions on the daybed, which I think looks rather nice. I've got a couple of pictures over there that I will put up on that wall. But some little changes have to be made to them first. I don't like their black frames. And this is a candlestick that was given by a friend many years ago, and it's very Scandinavian, I think, but I just love it. It's terrific, and I have to move it in a minute or else it'll get too hot. And then TV and my current Keep It Short sister for the little system I've been doing. The pair of the other chair that is in my study. This is the buffet that I have to paint and that I will use as a how to paint tutorial, because it's never been painted. It's in the original Ikea flat pack condition. It's got a few scratches and things. I bought it for very little because it was had been slightly scratched, and I thought, grab it, I'll happily have that. It had been full stock. So I got that, and we've used it a lot. It was in my son's bedroom for many years, and now I've got it here as more storage, because that's something else that I'll talk about apartments, is how to make storage. Then this is my gorgeous reclining chair that I use for sitting and reading in the afternoon, and with the balcony just out to the side of it, and I have these little lights which are very cute, especially at night. You can't see them now, but they're glowy, and it just is so nice to sit there with my balcony. And that room doesn't have doors, it's just open to this living space. So that's how I live, and I'll sit in there and watch a movie, or catch up on a series. Oh, these are my fluffy cushions. These are my a little present to myself, because autumn is tomorrow, and so I've got these two fluffy ones. This one almost looks like feathers. They're all fake, of course, there's nothing real about any of them. And one that looks like sheepskin over here, with another of these grey velour, very soft cushions. So this gives you a view of how I've extended what was a tiny corner, but by using the shelf in that corner, that little unit behind the sofa, I've been able to extend the wall without cutting off access to the dining area. And over on this side, I've extended it, once again being able to see through, but still feeling that it's enclosed, by putting up a shelving unit here as well that extends that wall out. And that way this room works perfectly. It was a very awkward space otherwise. And that's it. That's how I live in my apartment. You can see the light coming through. It's really beautiful. I do love this room. It's so nice. There we are. That's how I live. I hope you enjoyed that. The purpose was not to say, hey, wow, look at my apartment, it's really cool, whatever. Stylish, fabulous, wonderful, which of course I think it is, but that's just me. The purpose is to say that this is the way I like my home, and that's how, when I downsized out of a big home, I've made my new home look, and I'm really happy with it. The purpose here is to inspire and motivate you at any stage of your life, but particularly people who are a little upset or have a little trepidation about the idea of downsizing. I'd like to say, hey, Make your home the way you want it to be, so it's just right for you. Any space, given that it's safe and warm and all of the above, can become your home if you put the things into it that you love. I left I gave away, I sold, I shed so much when I moved here, and I have continued to do that actually because I didn't know what I would want or what I would use. So in the beginning I had more than I needed, and there are days I'm sure when I will just clear out more and maybe make some room for some new things to come in. But right now this works for me this way. I'm really enjoying it. And that's what I want this to be. I want this to be an inspiration to say that whatever it is that you like, however you like to live, make your home the way you like it. And don't feel sad, don't look back and say, hey, this was better or whatever. It was just different. And what you will get, especially if you are in a downsizing situation, what you end up with is an upsized life, because that's certainly happened to me. This place is so easy to keep clean, although it's very dusty. I just have to dust a lot, but it's easy to keep clean and tidy, and there's a place for everything now, and put everything in its place. And so it's just a very simple and easy life to lead here. I hope that if you enjoyed this video that you will give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, because March starts tomorrow and I've got a few little surprises about March, and I'd like you to be able to follow along, keep me company as I go through the next stage of things that I'm going to be doing. So I want you to take care. Whatever you're doing today, have a lovely time, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.